So what's going on, guys? It's your boy ROBLOX here, and today I'm back with another Roblox scripting tutorial. And really quickly, before we even do anything, I just want to say sorry if my voice is like super low or like it seems like it's like disappearing. I have my cat sleeping and I don't want to mess her up, but this is where my computer is and this is where I'm recording. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep my voice low so that she can sleep and get what she needs to. Alright. But anyways, today is the last day of 7 days of RBLXing, which I don't think I explained that, but I decided to do that when I started my channel. It's basically where I post videos every single day for 7 days straight so that new viewers can get a view of what my content is about and how my channel works. Alright, so I thought, well, what's a really banger way to end this little deal I'm doing here, and I decided that I would go like really advanced, which this is actually really advanced, and I decided that I'm going to do a custom loading screen for you guys. Alright, so this GUI here, if you couldn't tell, this is the GUI I'm using. I have the back frame, which is this gray stuff. I have the bar back frame, which is this black little rounded edged rectangle thing right here. I have my loading bar, which is this black slit right here that will load all the way to the very end, and then I have this assets message, which will tell me how much assets I have remaining. And I also have a assets loaded integer value, which is crucial to this. Make sure it's at 0. You don't have to name it assets loaded if you don't want to, but if you want to, go ahead and do that. Alright. Also, if you don't want to build your own and you just want to use this GUI, I will have this on my channel, or not my channel, but my inventory on Roblox. I will go ahead and link the my account and in the what is it called? I'm trying to see what it's called. Publish selection to Roblox. My model. I'll call it a model. Alright, I'll have the model link and I'll have my profile link down in the description below. So definitely check those out. And really quickly, I also want to say, check out my Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Add me there to keep updated on what I'm doing in my life when I'm uploading a video. And see who I interact with. Alright. So anyways, let's say you built your own GUI or you're using mine. That's okay. What you need to do is insert it into a script, but you don't know which script to insert it to because you may not have that script yet. So to get that script, you're actually going to go to replicated first, which is something that you're not often going to use, but replicated first, right click it, go to insert object and insert a local script, right? And you may see that my script interface has changed. That's because I purposely changed it. I didn't like the white theme. It's just too original, and I know how weird that sounds, but I decided to change it. So now I've changed it and I actually love it. So really quickly, I'm going to rename my script to custom loading script. Actually, no, screen. Custom loading screen. And then you can go ahead and drag your GUI into that script, and then there you go. By the way, I just kind of want to show you guys something, and I love this a lot. You know how I updated my script interface? I also updated a bit on my Roblox interface too. Look at that change of color. I love that so much. Like, it's just so cool. Anything that is highlightable, I can insert a part here, and it automatically goes to red, like that. So when I click on something, it will automatically go to red because that's what I have it set to. But when I'm hovering, look at that, beautiful. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get on with the script here, okay? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to remove the default loading screen, set top bar transparency, and then we're going to work a little bit with content provider. Alright, and a content provider is a service that allows you to view the content for your places, and it also has a useful property called request queue size, which can allow you to know the progress with which your assets have been preloaded. So basically it's monitoring how much assets you have to load and how much assets you have loaded, and we're going to also create variables for that. But right now, let's go ahead and remove the default loading screen. So to do this, we're going to say game.replicated first. I almost said storage. It's game.replicated first, and then it's colon remove default loading screen, and then open parentheses and closing parentheses. Nothing inside the parentheses. You don't have to worry about that. Then we're going to work with the top bar transparency, but instead of going straight to it, we're actually going to do a repeat statement, and we're doing this repeat statement because part of it is what we're going to be using later on and throughout the whole script. So let's go ahead and get into that. So it's a repeat wait until game.players.localplayer.playerGUI. So basically what's happening is we're going to wait. We're going to repeatedly wait and like twiddle with our fingers until we can find game.players.localplayer.playerGUI. So basically what that's doing is ensuring that player.playerGUI, or well, that's what I said, but I mean game.players.localplayer when I say player. But what we're doing is ensuring that that's there. So now instead of having for me to say game.players.localplayer:wait for child player GUI, I can just say player GUI. I can just say .player GUI, right? And that's actually what we're going to be saying for the next line, which is the top bar transparency, game.players.localplayer.playerGUI, and then we're going to say set top bar transparency, and then open parentheses and closing parentheses, alright? Now, when you talk about transparency, you're talking about numbers. The numbers range anywhere from 0 to 1, and it goes to thousands in decimal form, okay? But right now, the only two numbers you can use is 0 and 0.5. And I definitely suggest that you use 0.5 if you don't want the top bar to take away all the attention from the loading screen. But anyways, so yeah, you only get 0 and 0.5 for now, but hopefully later in the future they will update and give us more numbers that we can use, because Roblox is like ever evolving. So anyways, so now we're going to go ahead and get to the content provider, right? So remember I said a content provider provides content for your places, and it even has the property. Remember, it's called request queue size, and it allows you to know the progress in which your assets have been preloaded, alright? So we're going to go ahead and store this for later. We're not actually going to be using the request queue size yet, but we're going to create the variable content provider equals game, and remember I told you it was a service, so it's game : get service, and then content provider. So just like that, alright? Now we're going to go ahead and work with our screen GUI here. So I'm going to open it all up so I can see everything within it, and then I can start making the variables, right? So to start off, I want to get the screen GUI itself, so I'm going to say local intro equals script : wait, not like that, : wait for child, and then it's the screen GUI's name, which is a custom intro, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and get the assets loaded value. So I'm going to say local AL equals intro : wait for child assets loaded. And if you couldn't have told, I use AL because that's an acronym for assets loaded. A for assets, L for loaded. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and get the back frame, and I love using back frame because it's just a habit that I've developed. It tells me that that's the main part of the GUI, right? So that's where I know where to look for things. So local BF equals intro : wait for child back frame. Now we're going to get the bar back frame, which is inside back frame. So to do that, I'm going to say local bar BF equals BF : wait for child bar back frame. Now remember, you can name these variables whatever you want. You don't have to name them exactly like I'm naming them, but I'm gonna name them, how I want to. Alright. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the loading bar and the asset message. So loading bar first, I'm gonna say local LB equals bar BF : wait for child. If I can spell it correctly, my bad. Did I say smell it? Well, if I said smell it, I meant to say spell it, alright? But anyways, bar BF : wait for child loading bar. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and get the asset message. So local AM equals bar bf colon wait for child asset message. Yep, just like that. Alright, so now we can actually start working with the content provider. Wait, no. Okay, first of all, we want to say intro.parent equals game.players.local-player.player.gui, and you don't have to worry about these changing them. Since it's a local script yet it's replicated first, you will still be able to say script colon wait for child custom intro. It will still work, okay? So don't worry about that. What we can say now, working with the content provider, we're going to get how many assets there are in the game. We're going to get how many current known assets, what we know of already. We're going to go ahead and change our assets loaded to its correct amount. Okay. So first of all, what we're going to say is local total assets equals content provider dot request queue size. Remember, request queue size will allow us to get the progress in which we have loaded our assets, but it also gives us how many total assets we get, right? Because of the progress. Then we can say current known assets equals content provider dot request queue size. And even though I'm using the same thing over and over and over again, it still varies dependent on the status. Okay, so value equals content provider dot request queue size. Alright, so there we go. So now we have all of that down, and now we can actually get into the loading part of the script. Wow, 14 lines. Okay, not 14 lines, more like 11 lines dedicated to no, not even that, 10 lines. 10 lines dedicated to variables. That's a lot. That's how you know that, this is going to be a bit of a tough script, right? So let's go ahead and get into the main part. So how we're going to do this is we're going to use a while true do statement. Because the content provider is an integer value, it can go positive and negative. Although it's a very rare case that you're going to get negative. But what we're going to say is while content provider dot request queue size is greater than 0, do. So basically what we're saying is what this means is it means that we're still loading in assets. So while we are still loading in assets, we're going to go ahead and do the following stuff, right? So what I named as following stuff is if content provider dot request queue size is less than current known assets, then so if the progress of loading all our assets is less than our current known assets, meaning it's still loading, then what we're going to say is current known assets equals content provider dot request queue size. So we're going to put our current known assets as what's already loaded, right? Then we're going to also change our assets loaded value to what's been loaded by saying al.value equals content provider dot request queue size. And now we're going to detect if it's changed. So it just changed, so we're going to say al.changed connect open parentheses function open parentheses assets to load and then close parentheses and then hit enter. Alright, so now the event dot changed, that's detecting if it's changed or not. So if how many assets we've loaded has changed, then we need to update our loading bar, because that means that there's either more or less, and if our loading bar isn't updated, then it's not going to be corresponding, which is what we want, right? So we're going to, let's see, I would say x1 on the table, so let me go ahead and show you guys. So anything with curly brackets around is a table. So there's two tables here. There's x table and y table, okay? Right now we're going to be working with the x table, but we're going to be working with x1, which is this value right here, right? So that's not, of course, on the right frame. It would be this one. But if you notice something, go ahead and close that, take it here, and then I can work with it. If you notice something, right now this value is at 0, right? But if we put it to 1, that's actually like the full loaded amount. Like that's what we want, right? So we know that this can be anywhere from 0 to 1, and that will make it corresponding, right? So I'm going to put it back to 0, and I'm going to go ahead and move it back into the script, and let's go ahead and continue with the script, alright? So remember, we're working with that X table, so we're going to dedicate our variable name to say that we're going to work with X, so new X equals. Now remember, this is going to be doing subtraction and division at the same time, but when subtraction, the bigger number always goes first, right? So remember that 1 is our greatest value, like no matter what, 1 is only the greatest value. So it'll be 1, and then we'll do minus al.value divided by total assets, okay? So let's go ahead and go over this. This is arithmetic, and I know some people may not like math, but you know, it's what we do in math, right? And so let's say we have 20 total assets in our game, and let's say what we've loaded is 10. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this here. Okay. According to PEMDAS or GEMDAS, the division or multiplication always comes first, and then subtraction, which is why we don't have to use any parentheses. But really, we have 10 divided by 20. So let's say we've loaded half of our assets, then it will be 10, 20, and we have to convert that to a decimal because Roblox doesn't use fractions. So we can use 0.5, okay? And then 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5. So if we go here, put this back here, and we go ahead and change the loading bar, this new X value right here, to 0.5, notice that we've gone halfway. And so the amount that we have loaded, which is half, corresponds with the size of the loading bar, which is half, right? Isn't that cool? That's the stuff that kind of blows my mind with scripting. I love it so much, right? So anyways, I'm going to put that back. So let's go ahead and rewrite that. Remember, 1 minus al.value divided by total assets, alright? So that's our new X. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into something called tweening, right? So we're going to be using tween size. And tween size, well, here, let me go ahead and show you. Let's see, was it gonna, oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. So we're going to say loading bar, colon, tween size, open parentheses, closing parentheses, alright? So basically, tween size, it smoothly resizes the GUI to a new size, and it will basically do a UDIM2, okay? And it's doing a UDIM2 because we're working with 2 table values. Remember, we have 2 table values here, table X and table Y. And yes, we're going to be working with both of those, alright? So first part we're going to do is n size. So the n size will be represented by UDIM2, just like that, capital U and D, and a lowercase I and M, and then 2 dot new. So we have float over the X scale, the integer of the X offset, and then we have float of the Y scale and integer of the Y offset, right? So basically it's new X. So remember, let's say this ends up to be 1/2, this will be represented by 1/2, and it will move our loading bar up 1/2. So that's why we're putting that first, and we're just going to copy the rest. So we have 0, 0, 34. So 0, 0, 34. And when you're working with UDIM2.new, you don't use the curly brackets or table brackets. You just use commas, right? So once you have the n size, then you're going to work with easing direction. So easing direction is represented by in or out. So if it's in, when it's coming in, it will speed up, but then as it gets to its end point or its end size, it will start to slow down. Now, if you do out, then as it's moving, as it starts, it will start out slow, but then as it gets to its end size, it will speed up, okay? So we're going to go ahead and say comma, space, and then out. just like that, alright? So once you got that, now what you need to do is, or I'm sorry, that was easing direction, not easing style. Next is easing style. So easing style is how the bar moves. So a quick example is like linear. Linear will just actually do the same speed, and it just, goes straight. There's elastic, where it's like kind of like a rubber band, and it's like a boing, it goes boing at the very end, right? But we're going to use quad, which basically allows it to speed up, and that's also the default easing style. So quad, just like that. Now we're going to give it a time, and the time is basically how long it takes for it to reach its start size to its end size. And remember, the end size is this right here. So let's say 0.5, so half a second, okay? Then we're going to do overrides. So is it able to be overrided? Or, override basically means, can another tween size statement be happening while this is? And by setting it to true, it means yes, it can. So let's go ahead and go to our next line. And our next line is our text. So remember I said we had text that would tell us how many assets are remaining. That's where we're going to change it, right here. So we have our tween size done, and then we're going to say am.text. Remember, our asset message, am.text equals al.value, and a dot dot because we're connecting two strings. I'm going to say space assets remaining. Just like that, alright? Now you have that, and just to ensure that this doesn't go overboard, we're going to put a wait, just like that, nothing inside of it. We're just going to put wait here to make sure that it doesn't go overboard and crash the server, alright? Now, excuse me guys, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're going to have to look back at the very beginning where it says content provider.request size is greater than 0. Well, remember, it's while that statement is true, then we're going to do this stuff. But let's say that it comes to 0. 0 is not greater than 0, so it will stop doing this, and it will skip over it. So, if it's 0, then what we're going to say is am.text equals, and then just all in parentheses, or quotation marks, 0 assets remaining, right? Because we have 0 assets remaining, and we want the player to know that, right? Then, let's say that the loading bar isn't fully tweened yet. We're going to do that. So remember, lb colon tween size. Okay. Remember, it does it smoothly, so we have our end size, udim2.new, and we want it to be 1. That's our end size. We have 0, 0, and 34. Okay. Then we have our easing direction. We still want it to be out, so that starts off slow and then speeds up as it gets to the end. Then our easing style is going to be quad, because we want it to be able to actually speed up. Okay. Then the time we want it to take, 0.5 still, and be able to override it, yes. Alright. So we have our tween size done there. And now we have it set, but once it's loaded, we want to be able to remove it. So we don't want to completely destroy it, but we want it to be invisible. And remember, we have the visible boolean, so we're just going to say wait 3, and then we can say bf.visible equals false. And remember, we say bf because that's what holds all of this stuff, which is what's showing, alright? So let's go ahead and test this out. See, we got 0 assets remaining, wait 3 seconds, and it disappears. Yep. And if you guys want to, I'm not going to test it out, but if you guys want to test it out on the normal game, you feel completely free to do that, alright? I've tested it out in the real game, it works, and it actually looks pretty cool. I really like it. So, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. This has taken me a long time to record because there's been so many problems, with the sound and what's happening in the background. So yeah, I really do appreciate you guys watching this. We recently hit 15 subscribers in 7 days. That means so much to me, guys. Thank you so much. Alright? Also, we've reached over 100 views, which is also a pretty big milestone for me, especially because I'm a new YouTuber. Well, not new to YouTube, but this is new content. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out my social media. I'll have my Twitter and my Instagram link in the description below, and then my Snapchat I can't get a link to, and I would get the code thing where you can just hover your phone over it, but I don't have that editing software yet. But I will get there, guys. I will get there. All right. If this video helped you at all, I really hope it did. It sounds like a rap, but I really hope it did help you. If it did, leave a like. And if it didn't, then I mean, I kind of hate to say this, but I mean, leave a dislike because it didn't help you. But if you do happen to leave a dislike and it like didn't help you, please tell me in the comments below what can I do to make it better, because my job here is to appeal to you guys. All right. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you want to see more videos. I will still be uploading daily. It's just that I'm going to kind of, slack off of the advanced stuff, and maybe I'll make a separate kind of like series for that, right? Also, if you guys want me to script anything, like personally or custom, leave a comment of what you want me to do down in the comment section below. I read all my comments. And I just can't thank you guys enough for watching. I want you guys to have a good day, and I will see you guys later. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.